Det er onsdag, det er tid for Dronemagasinet igjen. Velkommen til utgave nummer 4. Denne uka har vi mye godt å glede oss til. Vi skal blant annet snakke med en av de som har vært med å utvikle den nye Matrice 300, droner fra DJI som kom i forrige uke. Vi skal høre mer fra Rikard og Jonas i Droneskolen og høre hvilke tips de har med seg til oss denne uka her. Og sist, men ikke minst, for et par uker siden var det mange som fikk med seg reportasjen hvor droner redder liv. I Mandal var det en drone utstyrt med termisk kamera som var ute på en leteaksjon og fant en savnet person. Men hvordan virker egentlig disse dronene med termiske kamera? Vi ble med ut politiet i Agder sammen med Røde Kors hjelpekorps for å finne ut faktisk hvordan ny teknologi kan bidra i søk- og redningsarbeid. Først i denne sendingen skal vi snakke om DJIs nye flaggskip, Matrice 300. Forrige uke ble den lansert til stor glede for mange i dronemiljøet. Men vi skal gå litt under huden på den nye drona. Vi skal snakke med en av de som har vært med å utvikle den, og som har jobbet lenge på innsida i DJI sitt nye prestisjeprosjekt. Så dere første reportasjen vi har i Dronemagasinet i dag, det er Matrice 300. Et eller annet sted på kontoret bak dere nå, så er Eduardo, ja, der ser vi han fra DJI. Han skal vise oss den nye Matrice 300 som ble lansert i forrige uke. Good morning, Eduardo.
Morning, Anders.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing good in Norway, but everybody's pretty excited about hearing more about the launch last week. How has the days been since Thursday when the official launch were?
Well, it's getting really busy since then, I have to say. I was actually here preparing the Matrice 300 so I could show you a little bit.
Sounds like exciting. Well, now you are actually embracing one of the first topics that LC has been highlighting very much online, the easy deployment. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, it literally takes, I would say less than a minute, maybe a minute, a few seconds, just to put the legs in, secure them, open the aircraft and plug the camera.
Pretty quick. I see that we have the light is dimming a little bit. I wonder if you maybe switch to the left side, we get some more even light on the exposure.
Yeah. Are you better?
Yeah, it's better now, and it makes it easier to see the bird as well. So easy deployment is exciting to talk about. But Eduardo, I know that you've been a part of the Matrice 300 project for quite a while, but there is also a great interest for knowing how do we actually create such a bird which you've done now?
Whoa, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and amazing team to put this together, I have to say. So just to give you an idea, we started a little bit more than a year ago, and everything started just pen and paper, drafting up what we would like to do. And then I had to actually fly a few times to China to start deciding on the different requirements and whatnot. And it's been quite a journey since then.
So what would you say is the biggest achievement for having the bird up and ready and soon to be delivered to the first clients?
I would say that the key achievement is that a lot of the feedback from key customers in the public safety sector, also in the industrial inspection sector, a lot of that feedback coming from them throughout the past few years, we've been able to integrate it in this platform. I would say that's the key achievement and also the reason why this is a game changer.
So the game changer, that's a key word, because we had a little bit when we were talking about the preparation for this informal chat today, we were talking about some of the features that has been also been implemented into the new bird as well. And I know that everything from the easy deployment to the charging and batteries with extended battery operation time has been important for you, but you also made it more weather resistance. And for the Nordic customers, I bet that's something that I would like to know more about, the IP rating.
Yeah, I can imagine the weather is a little bit tough over there sometimes. So with the Matrice 300 RTK, what we've done is to redesign the entire machine, and now we have a certification of IP45. This is quite an improvement if we compare it with previous platforms like the M200 series that it used to have. Well, it has still, but it had an IP43.
So what about also the optics? That's also IP rated as well?
The camera, the payloads that we can put. Yeah, that's right. So I can show you actually, if you give me a second.
Så mens Eduardo snakker om dette nå, så skal jeg nevne bare det at noe av det som også er spesielt her, som vi kommer tilbake til, det er jo blant annet også hvordan kamera sitt optikk er blitt langt mye bedre også til å kunne håndtere situasjoner med lite lys. Eduardo, I was just explaining also with the new ISO rating up to 25,600. That also seems to show that there is a great capacity for low light operations and low light recordings.
Yeah. So absolutely. So let me quickly show you the payloads. And answering your question earlier, it is IP44 rated. So the drone is IP45 and the payloads here are IP44. This is the Zenmuse H20. And here you can see optical zoom camera, 23 times hybrid optical zoom. We have a small fixed lens camera here, 12 megapixels, in order to provide situational awareness while we are fully zoomed in into the target. And here, this square that looks like a mirror is a laser rangefinder.
So why do we need a laser rangefinder?
Well, there are many use cases where you can actually deploy this level of technology. But in a few words, what this technology does is measures the distance between the payload and whatever the object is. And then based on basic trigonometry, it can give you the GPS coordinates of the object, the relative altitude of the object, and as I said, the distance.
So certain rescue, but also the coordinates, so you can implement it into a map.
So that's the H20. Let me quickly show you the H20T, which is really similar, but it also comes, this one here, with a thermal radiometric sensor.
What kind of specification do we have on the radiometric sensor?
We have image resolution, thermal image resolution of 640 by 512 at 30 hertz.
So who's the manufacturer of that sensor?
It is a partner of us in China. It's a third-party company.
Okay, so you changed actually for the new one. You also actually changed the manufacturer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In the past, for cameras like the XT or the XT2, the thermal radiometric sensor was provided by FLIR, and not in this case.
That also may be a good and better solution when it comes to export and shipping around the world.
Well, this camera, the H20T, will be available worldwide. It will not. There will not be differentiation between STA and non-STA countries any longer.
But as we say that an inspection drone is no better than the optics and the camera on board. Let's talk a minute or two about the H20 and the optics inside it. I just read on the specification online that the ISO rating is up to 25,600. I couldn't find any other DJI drone which has a higher ISO rating and also an aperture of 2.8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as I said, I mean, the entire solution is now a game changer. And what we've been able to do with these payloads is to fully calibrate them to whatever use case is required to perform. So because it is a full in-house development, we can just perform some tweaks here and there to provide the specs that you just mentioned.
Because we know that in low light conditions, one thing is to view the scene, but the other thing is to record it, but also get to sharp images on that one. I know, Eduardo, then...
Sorry to stop you a second. Now that we're talking about low light conditions, something that we have also deployed in both the H20 and the H20T is infrared CAD. So there's a filter that we have actually included in between the optical lenses to highlight the light in low light conditions. So
exciting. I know also, Eduardo, for our viewers back there, that when we do the talk as we do now, we'll have some visuals and illustrations that we can put on the screen for them to give them also more detailed sense of us talking as well. I also would like just to go back a little bit to 23 times optical zoom, because I don't think that everybody knows what a 23 times optical means. What is the range for the zoom on that level? Do you remember the millimeters?
in equivalent is 31.7. We're talking about the optical, right? The optical
Yes,
zoom.
optical.
31.7 millimeters to 556, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, all those specs are in the website in any case, but I believe it's between 31 and 556. And that's actually, if you make the numbers, that's not 23. And the reason we say 23 hybrid is because we are also counting the focal length of the wide lens camera, that is 24. So between 24 and 556, that's where we have the 23 hybrid optical zoom.
I know that has been a very important element for people to get remote distance as well, because it's a safety feature. And also you included the ADS-B receiver, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Same as other enterprise platforms, the Matrice 300 RTK comes with AirSense, which is an ADS-B receiver.
Yeah. But not an ADS-B sender, so you will only be able then to be visually to be aware of what is happening around you.
Yeah, it is not a transmitter, it's just a receiver. So we will just receive data from any manned aircraft that it has an ADS-B transmitter.
And that will definitely be valuable for a lot of the users back there. I also see that with the OccoSync that you also increased the duration, not only on battery, but also the range of the platform. Let's talk about the range now, because this is definitely something many would look into for BLOS operations.
Yeah, so OccoSync Enterprise, which is the modified OccoSync version that we have in the Matrice 300 RTK, is built on OccoSync 2.0 that we can see in other platforms, and it comes with a maximum transmission distance of 15 kilometers FCC, so for the States, and we have up to 8 kilometers for CE conditions, so in Europe.
So about 8 kilometers of transmission rates. Can that be
in ideal conditions?
Can that be increased, or is it something? Is it just a software thing, or how do you actually differentiate? Is it a different production line on that part?
It is definitely software. It is definitely software, and it's just to be compliant with the telecommunication requirements within the region. So there are certain requirements developed by the telecommunications agency, National Telecommunications Agency, and in the FCC world, so in the States, we are allowed to just put more power into the signal to reach further. And that's just a software trick that we implement depending on where the aircraft is.
So let's say that a Norwegian or a Nordic user has the license to be able to increase the amount of increasement that's needed on those part of the software. Will they be able to, for instance, get an upgrade? Because it's pretty different from 8 to 15 kilometers.
Yes. So the quick answer is yes. We could, they could be developed a custom firmware to enhance, to improve from 8 kilometers to 15 kilometers. But there are a few documents, a few approvals that need to be submitted to us, so we can develop such custom firmware.
You know, as we say, we have a lot of airspace available in Norway, so there might be some of our viewers that will say that, okay, if the hardware and software can do 15, we would like to do that as long as it is within the national regulations. So it's just an interesting element to bring up for the discussion.
At the end, it's all about regulations.
Oh yeah, definitely, and the safety of the operations.
Absolutely.
But also, Eduardo, I know that you highlighted also for me earlier that the smart controller with the enterprise version also gives us a few new specs and easy way of handling the drone. Let's finish off with the controlling of the drone as well.
Yeah. So the remote controller that we have for the Matrice 300 RTK, it is really, really similar to the smart controller that we can actually see in the Mavic 2 Enterprise series. It is not compatible with that one because it comes with different transmission, the 4 different hardware, but in terms of look and feel, it is exactly the same. It feels seamless and integrated because you have now everything at once. You don't need to have the Sundance in one part and then the Crystal Sky to mount it on top. With this smart controller, now we have all in one.
And is that also IP rated?
No, no. The remote controller doesn't have any IP rating.
So why don't we finish off with just a little bit of a close-up, Eduardo, of the 300. Are you able to bring it a little bit closer to us?
Let me make some space here because it's a little bit big.
Please don't show the rest of your desk.
So you can actually see here.
Sounds good. So just walk us through a little bit of what we see.
So what you can see here at the front is the Fpv camera. All right. And you can see here two TOF sensors. So time of flight sensors based on infrared technology. We have 2 vision sensors, one in each side. I can maybe get it a little bit closer.
Yeah, we can see it now.
And those sensors, 2 vision sensors and 2 TFO sensors are in every single direction. So you can also see it on the top.
Yeah.
Those are 2 LED lights, but you can see in both sides the TFO and the vision. And as I said, all those sensors are in up, down, forward, backwards, and sideways.
Can you show us the side on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
seems like. Yeah, good. What I see here, what is interesting, we know that there was some criticism about that the batteries were too exposed on previous models, but it looks like you capsuled a lot more, and also that you're taking in consideration some of the criticism that when the drone was folded, you need to take off the legs and attach the propellers. Now it seems like everybody's pre-assembled.
Pretty much, yes. So as I said at the beginning, one of the key achievements is we've taken all the feedback from our customers and tried to develop in the best possible way in this platform. The propellers are fixed, so there is no quick release anymore. They are fixed with a few screws, so they are stored. When you fold the legs, they are within the legs and they're stored back in the suitcase. And there are only the legs need to be unscrewed and put them in the suitcase in a separate way. But yeah, in terms of the batteries, you can see the entire space. This space is for the battery, so it's fully covered, and there is no an inch of the battery out.
Interesting. Eduardo, I don't know if you're able to share this, but I'll ask you anyway. Everybody's interested about the safety of products also coming. How much of testing is done on each unit before it's been shipped? I mean, it's not a commercial drone, it's an enterprise. So what kind of quality system are you having actually to ensure that each unit shipped is met all the requirements?
Yeah, well, as you say, there's a little bit of confidential information in there.
It's just between you and our viewer.
No, absolutely. What I can say is that every single machine that we manufacture is being tested before being shipped. It's being tested physically. So we have our my colleagues in China. They actually, before putting it in the box and wrap it up, they've been flying it to make sure that it works, and it works great. But also, it's been every machine goes on software testing. So there is also like a few algorithms running in the machine to make sure everything is properly connected, all the different components are properly checked. Again, the idea is to make sure that the machine is fully up and running the moment it's opened by the customer.
Sounds good. And then you mentioned the last keyword, the customers. When can we see these units be expected to be delivered?
Soon. Now, real soon. So, well, I have this machine, let's say, for a few months already. It's a prototype. It's a working prototype. But I know that the final production units will be sent out in the next, let's say, weeks. So I would expect customers to have the first batch of N200 units and H20, H20T payloads, I would say, in the next coming weeks. So
and I know we also plan, sorry, say again.
Within June framework, I would say.
Yeah.
Timeline.
And of course, Norwegian customers would have high priority. That's great to hear.
Absolutely, absolutely. I already told my colleagues.
Well, Eduardo, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you have a great lineup for other interviews and chats, and I know that we will get back to all the details when we will have the M300 for a test here in Norway within hopefully a few weeks. So thank you so much for sharing, Eduardo.
Thank you, Anders.
Safe to Fly, en app for alle brukere av droner. Tjenesten alltid oppdatert og enkel å bruke slik at du finner all informasjon du trenger på ett sted. Fly sikkert. Alltid.
En av de mest sette sakene på Dronemagasinet var historien om en mandalskvinne som ble savnet og ble funnet ved hjelp av droneteknologi. Vi nysgjerrig på å høre og se hvordan faktisk dronene kan være med på å redde liv. Men hva slags teknologi det, og hvordan jobber dette i samspill med noe av det viktigste, nemlig de frivillige ressursene som hjelper til, nemlig ofte Røde Kors, Hjelpekorps og andre frivillige. Vi tok turen ut med politiet og Hjelpekorpset for å se det i praksis. Det som skjer bak meg nå litt interessant. Kristian Ekra fra Agder politidistrikt skal demonstrere og vise hvordan faktisk en sensor, som også kan se i mørket, en såkalt termisk sensor, kan bidra til søk- og redningsoppdrag. Mange av dere husker sikkert for et par uker siden hvor en savnet kvinne i Mandalsområdet ble funnet. Sannsynligvis ville ikke hun overlevd hvis ikke hun hadde blitt funnet ved hjelp av droneteknologi. Om et øyeblikk så skal jeg hjemme med i skogen. Da skal vi se hvordan droner og hjelpekorpset fra Røde Kors sammen jobber for å finne folk. Da det på tide med en aldri så liten uformell test. Drone og hjelpekorpset til Røde Kors i Kristiansand i herlig samvirke. Nå skal jeg på løpetur. Jeg spent på hvordan de finner meg og hvem som finner meg først. Bli med og se. Jeg skal inn i skauen. Du skal få se med et øyeblikk hvordan det ser ut. Jeg veldig spent på hvordan dette skal gå. Vi har hørt mye om droner i det siste, hvordan det kan være et nyttig hjelpemiddel. Men jeg litt spent på faktisk hvordan det ser ut når politiet skal bruke det på en måte som dette. Det kan være et sånt område hvor folk kan dette og skade seg. Og det skjer jo mange ganger når folk på tur. Ok, her tror jeg det perfekt. Skal vi se. Hvis dere ser her nå, stort område rundt meg. Mange trær, litt åpent, men fortsatt ikke så lett å finne.
Ja, og hvis det ikke flere spørsmål da, så starter vi bare søket og går ut. Det vi har gjort nå, har vi gått gjennom den profilen til den savnet. Vi har pratet om hvor han sist sett. Vi har lagt opp taktisk plan på søket, utifra hvilken søkskategori vi jobber etter. Nå det jo en jogger, og da tenker vi det fornuftig at vi følger de naturlige ledlinjene for en som ute og trener og jogger.
Ja, det blir også å stille inn innstillingene slik at det en sånn search and rescue mode der du fokuserer mer på temperaturen til menneskene og ikke en brann for eksempel. Spennende å se hvordan dette skal gå. De har sendt ut et lag på 5 eller 6 stykker. En av de skal være tilbake for å koordinere alt arbeidet, og så gir den andre beskjeden til politiet hvis de finner noe. Men det skal vi få høre mer om, for jeg får ikke med meg hva de sier de imellom. Men rundt meg nå så ser det sånn ut som dette. Kanskje om et øyeblikk så kommer vi til å se også droner. Oi, nå hører jeg droner. til å si noen ting om hvilken avstand han har. Men for meg så høres det ut som han nesten over meg nå. Ingenting til Røde Kors ennå. Ingenting. Skal vi se. Jeg lurer faktisk på om jeg kan se noe der oppe. Ja, der kommer faktisk droner. Yes. Der han altså. Nå jeg veldig spent på om Kristian har funnet meg. Han kanskje 60-70 meter over bakken. Nei, nå kjører han videre. Dette må være helt forferdelig hvis du først ønsker å bli funnet, at de ikke ser deg.
Mye trær. Vanskelig å søke. Nå som det varmt, så vanskelig å skille menneskene ut ifra beskrivelsen.
Kan være at de kunne ha sett meg, altså. Men tenk deg følelsen da å ligge med brukket bein, og så har du greid å ringe til 112 eller til helsetjenesten for å få hjelp. Og så ser du redningsressursen, men du har ikke greid å bli funnet. Men nå hører jeg noen her oppe. Ja, der har jeg funnet. Nei, da har de funnet meg.
Ja, da har vi funnet en jobber her inne. Du, nå har mannskapet mine funnet en som passer med beskrivelsen. Så nå venter jeg på en tilbakemelding på en posisjon på der de står.
Her skrikes det funnet, altså. Nå tenker jeg bare at hvis jeg hadde brukket beinet, nå hadde jeg blitt himla glad, altså. Dette må være en fantastisk følelse for dere å finne folk som er savnet.
Det er jo alltid gøy å finne, det er det. Og spesielt når du er i så god form som du er nå.
Ja. Jeg tenkte det var en utrolig rar følelse å være her, altså. Jeg tenkte det, når jeg hørte redningsressursen i lufta, så tenkte jeg hvis jeg hadde vært her med brukket bein, så hadde jeg vært henrykt og hvor bare høre at noen var i nærheten. Har jeg vært med noen gang på aksjoner hvor droner har vært brukt?
Ja, vi var en gang i Mandal tidligere i vinter. Da var det droner som gjorde funn, og så rykket Røde Kors inn med mannskap og hentet ut pasienten da. Så vi har opplevd både aksjoner ved droner hvor de ikke har gjort funn, og hvor faktisk droner har gjort funn.
Denne uka skal vi glede dere med nye tips fra Droneskolen. Rikard Amodei og Jonas Kiplesund fra Amodei Visuals, de deler ærlige egne erfaringer og ikke minst også gode tips på veien til å bli en god dronefotograf og filmfotograf.
Sist filmet så var det jo en ødelagt drone, så det betyr at da har vi fått oss ny. Denne gangen har jeg lastet ned software og oppdatert og alt, så nå er den klar til å fly. Det er viktig at folk ser det når du er dronepilot. Hvis det er et eller annet de har spørsmål om, så synes jeg i hvert fall det er deilig at de ser hvor jeg står hen, kan komme hen og spørre, sånne ting. Det skal ikke være noe som gilder å gjøre dette, og det skal være tilgjengelig til noen som har spørsmål. Et tips da, det er at betong er droner ikke glad i. Så da er det lurt å flytte. Da får du noe som heter mag interference, som er at kompasset ikke klarer å finne ut hvor det er. Og det er fordi at i betong er det jo mye stål. Så da prøver vi på nytt. Og så var det sjekk omgivelsene. Og så kan det være lurt hvis det er noen folk i nærheten som du ser blir rørt av det, så kan man ta og spørre og si til dem at den skal fly litt. Så jeg går hen og sier til de gamle damene at den skal fly. Jeg skal bare være litt her. Ok, da er det jampeturen. Åh, den går jo som smør. Veldig fin drone å fly. Derfor er det lurt å ha gul vest på. Da lander vi i god avstand fra folk. Så plukker vi den heller opp da, så ikke vi må fly opp. Men da oppdraget ferdig. Fint det her. Litt nye mennesker å treffe, og litt beskjeder her og der, og sånn. Men så lenge den er godt forberedt, så går alt veldig fint.
Det var det vi hadde i denne 4. utgaven av Dronemagasinet. Jeg håper du likte det du så. Gjør du det, skal du gjerne dele linken med en dronevenn, og så håper vi ses i neste uke. Da lover jeg deg, vi har nye spennende ting fra droneverden du garantert har lyst til å høre mer om.